All right. So today, something I wanted to talk about. I chose this topic because Emily and I have been talking about it a lot lately, and that is just like getting conversations with people going strong and in the right direction, and getting them to open up to you and talk to you about the underlying reason and root of why either they reached out to you or why they responded to you when you reached out to them. Because at the end of the day, I feel like if somebody reaches out to you, there's a reason and they need this and they want it for themselves. But if they end up, like we were talking about a minute ago, Dana, like if they ghost you, it's because there's some like underlying fear or insecurity or doubt that is holding them back. And something that I've really tried to focus on over the last couple months, basically since I did that art of recruiting training back in December, that kind of pushed me to start actually building strong relationships with the people that I was reaching out to, and not putting really any kind of pressure at all, if I could help it, of them actually like joining my group or buying a challenge pack or something. Because that's when I just focus on that, that's when I fall in the trap of like not enjoying this and not like feeling like my heart is in it and like looking forward to actually clearing out my inbox every day. But just focusing on the person that I'm talking to and making sure that when I am responding to messages, I'm like putting my whole heart into it and trying to make them feel like whatever they need to say to me is like my inbox is a safe place for them to like open up about things if they need to. And the way that I've tried to do that is either if somebody responds, like if I put something on my stories with a poll and they respond, or I've had a lot of people start just reaching out to me recently about what I'm doing and they want to learn more about it. Or if I reach out to them first and send them an invite and they want more information, then before I give them really any information at all about the actual group or the workouts or anything, I just try to get a conversation going with them back and forth and get them talking. Because a lot of times we're so tempted to just dump all the information on them because we love it so much and we're so passionate about it, and it's changed our lives. So we're like, this is what you need, and here's all the information, here's how it works, and this is what it does. But until we can like take a step back and really focus on that person, we can't really make a recommendation that what we have to offer is exactly what they need right now. Because Transform 20 might not be what they need right now. They might just need to focus on their nutrition. They might just need to, like, their eating habits and their fitness, their physical fitness level might be to the point where they just need to start with Shakeology and starting to make tiny changes to what they're putting in their body every day. So I have stepped away from trying to just like automatically recommend whatever it is that I invited to. Even though, like, that's what I invited you to, let's talk about what you're looking for, and then we'll figure out if this program is actually the best fit for you or not, or if we should talk about something different. And I'm going to try to find, I wish I had, prepared a little better and found some messages that I wanted to talk about, but I think I have one from yesterday. See, let me find it. It's not a good one. Okay, I'm not going to waste time scrolling trying to find one. So just an example, like if I invite someone, send an invite for Transform 20, that's like, hey girl, I don't know if you would be interested at all, but my group just started this new 20-minute workout, and I thought that it might be perfect for you just because I know that you have a super busy schedule, but maybe they were interested before, and so I can say, I know you were interested in joining us before, but it didn't work out, and I thought this might be the perfect opportunity. No worries if not, but let me know if I can get you some more information. We would love to have you. And she responds and is like, yes, I would love some more information. That sounds great. Before I go into a spiel about, okay, Transform 20 is a 20-minute workout. It's 6 weeks, 20 minutes a day, 6 days a week. All you have to have is a step. This is how the meal plan works, all of this stuff. I take a step back and say, okay, awesome. I'm so glad that you're interested. Let's first start talking about what have you tried in the past as far as workouts or trying to lose weight, and what actually has worked for you before and what didn't work, and what are you really looking to accomplish now. And so by asking them questions, I'm getting them talking first, because until we get them talking and to learn more about them and their needs, then we can't really make a good recommendation and feel like, when I make a recommendation for somebody, I want to feel like this is really what I feel like they need, and not like I'm just pushing something on them, because that's what I'm doing right now. So a lot of times they'll say, we'll just continue with that example, that like, well, I've tried going to the gym in the past, but it would only work I would only go for like a week, and then I would fall off, or I would try to eat healthy, but then like on the weekends I would go out with friends and then just blow it. So that is when I would tell them about my experience with the same exact thing, and say like, I was totally in the same boat when I first started this. I tried going to the gym and it just didn't work for me because it took too much time, and then I didn't really know how to stay on track with the meal plan either. And then I would talk about how working out from home has been so much more convenient for me, and how being in the group and having the community and support is what has helped me actually stay consistent. And then I might actually ask them a question like, do you have any friends who work out with you or try to eat healthy with you? Do you have like any kind of community support? And most of the time they say no. And sometimes they might have like one friend that wants to do it with them. And if they say something about having a friend that wants to do it with them, I might even mention like, well, it would be awesome if you all could do this together and both join our community and get the support that I think you're really missing and looking for. That's going to help you be consistent and stay on this journey. And then I just continue to ask them questions. And that I think is the key, because it's so easy for us to just like dump information on them, and it can just be too overwhelming. It's like they read all this and they're thinking in their head like, okay, there's these workouts and then there's a meal plan and then I got to drink this shake too. Like it's just like so much, and they feel like it's so much change all at one time. And I also want to try to get them into like the thought process of it's just going to be small changes at a time, that it doesn't have to be like a total overhaul of their entire life in a day, because that doesn't work. Because most of the time that's what they tell me that they've done in the past. You know, like people they're like gung-ho and they're like, I'm going to spend an hour at the gym every day. All I'm going to eat is salad and grilled chicken and broccoli, and I'm never going to have anything that I like. And when now they're never going to the gym and they're eating fast food 3 times a day and drinking Dr. Pepper. Like that kind of like insane change overnight is just not really sustainable, because you just have to take those baby steps to get there. Like think about when you started on your journey and what did you need? Because most of the time these people that you're talking to are exactly like you were when you started. Or if they're not in the same boat you were in, then I promise you their story is very similar to one of us on our team. So reach out. If somebody is in a situation that you're not as familiar with, but you know that so-and-so on our team or in our challenge group struggled with that too, don't be afraid to reach out to them and say, hey, like I'm talking to somebody who is struggling with that same problem that you were when you started. How did you overcome it in the beginning, and what like baby steps did you make? And then you can go to this new person and say like, hey, one of my friends that's in our group struggled with this too, and this is how she overcame it, and maybe we can start there. And just like tiny baby steps getting them there, and being okay with the fact that it might take you talking to them for weeks or even months at a time before you get them to a place where they're ready for this. Because pretty much everybody who I've had sign up in the last month or two, aside from just a couple girls, like, I have been talking to them for a really long time and talking to them about their struggles for a really long time. And instead of getting discouraged, like when they tell me no, or just ending the conversation altogether when they tell me that no, not right now, I keep talking to them and just change the subject. And I think that has really, really helped me in these last couple months, because I'm building such stronger relationships with these women, and they're opening up to me so much more, and they're more willing to have these conversations with me back and forth, because they don't feel like I'm just trying to get them to buy a challenge pack. They actually can like tell that I care about them and whatever's going on in their life. And I know that that sounds like just like a no-brainer, like, well, duh, that's the way you should talk to people. But it's so easy for us, especially when we're in this like mode of trying to help as many people as we can. We can get stuck in this just like copy paste, like just try to get to the end as fast as we can. And I think taking that mentality away from it is really helpful. And not to say that you shouldn't like hustle and try to talk to as many people as you can, like you should, but don't get discouraged if those conversations aren't starting and then coming to a close really quick like you think they should. Because I mean, think back to when you started and how many times I invited you, or how many times you and like Emily, how many times you talked to me before I like finally said yes. And then my next piece of advice is to start out talking to them about the best option that you think is for them. So most of the time, as far as Transform 20 goes, I've been recommending the deluxe package, because that's what comes with Shakeology and Energize and Recover, just because those are the products that I use. And I feel like that is such a strong point to be able to recommend to people and say, like, this is the stuff that I use, because that's why they're coming to you. That's why they're talking to you, is because they're inspired by your journey and they want the results that you've gotten. So it would make sense for them to use the same tools that you're using. So I always start with that, but then I always tell them at the same time, like, if this is out of your budget, because I know, like with the Transform 20 stuff, especially including the step, it's a lot pricier than what we're normally putting out there to people. And like $215 plus the tax and stuff, like that is a pretty good chunk for the majority of people that you're talking to. And so I always make sure to tell them, like, this is what I would recommend, but there are cheaper options that we can talk about if that's out of your budget. Because I know all of us have been getting that price objection so much that, I don't know, one day, like, my brain just clicked and I was like, offer them something cheaper. Like, who cares if it's not a challenge pack? Who cares if by the end of the conversation, if everything is still out of their budget, you can still offer them a free trial. Like, start with what you think is best, but then don't be afraid to say, okay, well then if the $215 is too expensive, then let's talk about the $160, just the base challenge pack that doesn't come with Transform 20, but maybe Transform 20 isn't the best option for them anyway. Maybe it's going to be better for them to start with something like 21 Day Fix or PiYo or Country Heat or something anyways. So that's what I've been doing. I start with the deluxe and then go to the base. So I'm like, okay, if deluxe is too expensive because it comes with both or all three supplements really, then I go to the base and say, well, we can try this one, and you get either or. You can have Shakeology or you can have the Performance line. And I will usually recommend Shakeology because, in my opinion, it's a non-negotiable on this journey. Like, if you do anything, that's the one thing that you can do that doesn't require a lot of effort. You literally just have to drink it every day. And the Energize and Recover, as much as I love them, they are things that can be added on later when they build their confidence in themselves and are more sure of that investment that they're making. Because that's the reason a lot of people don't want to spend the money. It's not because they can't spend the money. It's because they don't believe in themselves enough to stick with it to feel like it's worth the investment. That's the problem. because people know how expensive things are. You can't go anywhere today and get anything that's worth anything that's not expensive. Like, seriously. So a lot of the times people have been telling me, like, I think that sounds great, but I just can't afford it right now. And sometimes that is true. They really can't fit it into their budget. And so that's why I've just been like slowly going down the list. So then when we get to the 160 option, if that's still too much, then I say, okay, the cheaper options don't come with Shakeology. You can just get the 12-month all-access membership for $99, or you can do it 3 months at a time for $40. And I tell them, like, it's totally up to you, but you get the best deal if you go ahead and get the 12 months in advance, because you spend 100 compared to 120, or 160, I guess. Is that how much that is? I can't do math in my head right now. Okay, whatever. 40 times 4, right? 4 quarters. 40 times 4 is 160. Yes. So it's a lot cheaper if they just get the 12 months. But then sometimes, okay, $100 still too much. So then you can say, well, I can give you a free trial for 14 days, and you can see if this is something that you like and something that you actually want to save up the money and invest in, because I want you to feel comfortable. And I keep like reiterating to them that I want them to do what they feel comfortable and ready for, and I think that's making people feel a lot more, like, I keep saying comfortable, but I think that makes them feel more comfortable in talking to me and confiding in me about things, because I keep reiterating that I just want to do what's best for them. And it's not about the points or a challenge pack. And I think that's something that, like, a trap I've kind of fallen into a lot over the last few years is, like, if people didn't want to get a challenge pack, then I didn't care. Like, I didn't want to, like, keep pursuing them, because it was like, that's what I thought was best, and that's what you need. That's what I think you need to start with. And if you don't want to do that, then, like, whatever. And that is so the wrong mentality to have, because if I just go back to the beginning of my journey, like, heck, I was the worst brand new customer ever. Like, I didn't do anything that Emily told me to do. Like, I literally got my mom to buy Pio DVDs. This was before BOD. I got my mom to buy me the Pio DVDs for my birthday. And then a couple weeks later, I signed up as a coach. I paid the $40.
Yeah, and you didn't even buy the DVDs from me. You remember? We had to have it switched over.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, and like, it never bothered me. Like, I never felt like, I was thinking myself back then, like, I was never like, oh my God, like, annoyed by it. I was just like, oh yeah, whatever you want to do. Like, and now look, it's so crazy.
I know, that's hilarious. So, bought Pio apparently off the internet from somebody else. 2 weeks later, paid the $40 fee to sign up as a coach. And then a couple weeks after that, I bought Shakeology. Like, I spent way more money than I really needed to get started in this business. But look now, like, if Emily had not, like, been the coach that she was for me, I wouldn't be here. Like, I honestly feel like, and not that I have ever treated any person, like, differently because of the way they signed up, but it's just like the amount of time that I would devote to people differed a little bit if they signed up with a challenge pack versus and I really didn't even offer these other things though. And that's what blows my mind is, like, I never offered a free trial until the last few months. Like, I never offered just doing on demand by itself. Like, I would offer it, but I wouldn't make it sound like it was still a good thing. Like, I would offer it, but basically be like, if you're not going to get Shakeology with it, like, it's like whatever. And that is just so wrong, because I've had so many girls who are in our challenge group right now who have signed up just with on demand. And you know what I did? I sent them samples of Shakeology to try, because I knew that they needed it and that it was going to be a game changer for them if I could just get the light bulb to click off in their brain. Like, and sometimes that's all people need. Like, people need you to believe in them just enough to meet them where they are. and give them what they're ready for. So, like, a good example is a girl named Brittany who's in our group now. She's a new mom. I think her son is about a year old. I've been talking to her for a little while. We went to high school together, and she signed up with Beachbody On Demand. I'm pretty sure I sent her a free trial. I can't remember. And I'm going to post this several things in the group today that I've been using. And Emily, I was going to talk to you about this today. If you want to join our elite hustle group and get in there, I've been sharing a lot more of my business tools and type things in there instead of my other team page, just to keep from being so repetitive. But I'm going to post in there the email that I've been sending, because I have an email that I've been sending with a free trial, because you can get a link that goes direct. You can send them a link that goes directly, if they click on it, to signing up for the free trial through you as their coach. And I tell them in the email up front, like, you have to put in your credit card information, but you can cancel it before you get charged. Just be sure to write down the day when your trial is going to end so you can go online and cancel it. And then we can go from there. And I also tell them of a couple workouts that I would recommend for them to try first. And then a lot of times I will just follow up with them in a day or two and ask them if they've had a chance to sign up or not. And then I have also been sending an email that just has a lot of information about Shakeology. Basically, it's just the Shakeology unit from the Transform 20 information group. And I also put that unit into our challenge group as well. But I just took that information and put it in an email. And I have been sending it to people who have had questions about Shakeology, but it's just so much easier just to email them that and let them read it on their own and on their own time than me trying to explain Shakeology, because as educated as I am about it, I still don't know everything that there is to know. And it takes a lot of time to type up those messages and send to people. So I will just say, if Shakeology is something that they're on the fence about, I will say, what's your email? Let me send you over some more detailed information about it. That way you can read up and see why I love it so much. And I'll send them this email. And basically it's just got that outline. I think the text came off of the Beachbody website or the blog or something. And then it's got the picture that shows the comparison of Shakeology and its price versus all of the nutrients and the vegetables and everything that it is for your body, comparing, like, you get all of these nutrients in one shake that's less than $4. And I have even sent it to a lady who, she reached out to me about Transform 20. She has been like a longtime Beachbody person. She's never signed up. She's just done the DVDs. She doesn't even have on demand. She's literally just been working out with her same Insanity DVDs forever. And she reached out about Transform 20. And so I was telling her all about the way it works with on demand now and everything. And she was wanting to sign up, but I don't know if y'all have like sat down and figured this out, but it's more expensive for somebody to sign up for on demand and get VIP early access separately than it is for them to just get the challenge pack that comes with Shakeology. That's more expensive if they don't get the step. And she didn't want a step because she already had one. So she really didn't want Shakeology, but that she was going to get that just because that's what I told her, it was cheaper. And she ended up backing out on me and saying she was just going to wait until April when it came out. And I was like, okay, no worries. Like, and she also told me that she was drinking these other shakes, like one nutrition or something. And I was like, oh, what are those? I've never heard of that. And anytime somebody tells me that they're drinking some other shake, I ask them what it is. I ask them what it is. I usually say, oh, I've never heard of it, because I usually haven't. And then I talk about how Shakeology is so much better than that. But I don't just flat out come out and say, well, Shakeology is better. I say, well, did you know that you're probably actually not, because most of the time it's a protein shake. And then I asked them, like, did you know that you're really probably not protein deficient, but you're nutrient deficient? I was like, and that's where Shakeology comes into play, and that's why I drink it, is because the society and what word am I looking for? Like the media, there we go. The media has like trained us to think that we need protein when really we just need, like, we're nutrient deficient. And so that's where Shakeology comes into play. And so I asked her, she had already sent me her email address actually, and I said, let me send you an email that has some more details about Shakeology and explains all of this a little better. And so I sent it to her, and she was like, oh yeah, thank you so much, like I'll be sure to read over that and let you know. And so, like, when she backed out on me, I could have just, like, stopped the conversation and been like, okay, well, if you change your mind, let me know, like I used to do. But I kept talking to her and just kept, like, digging a little more to see what she was going to be doing instead. And then it, like, opened up that opportunity for me to send her more information about it. And so that's really just what I've been focusing on lately, is just, like, talking to people about non-Beachbody things every day. Like, I don't know if y'all already do this, but like when on Facebook birthdays on there, instead of writing on everybody's wall, send them a private message. And a lot of times people love that. They're like, oh, thank you so much. Like, it means more to them that you took the time to send them a private message than just to write on their wall. I mean, think about it when it's your birthday. Like, doesn't it mean a little more to you when somebody private message you or like send you a text message or something on your birthday versus like the hundreds of people that will write on your wall? So I've started doing that, every single person whose birthday it is that I'm friends with. And then I also look for ways to initiate some kind of conversation with people who are consistently showing up on my page. So I will spend like 5 or 10 minutes just scrolling through my posts and looking through the lists of who is liking, who is commenting, and who are new people who are watching my stories every day. Because I know I've said this before, but if you swipe up on your story, it will show you who's watched it. And the people at the top are the people who watch it the most frequently. So if somebody new pops up towards the top of my list, I reach out to them. And I just say something super simple like, hey, Debbie, I just wanted to reach out and say thank you so much for following along on my journey here recently. I've noticed you've been encouraging me on my posts, and I really appreciate it. I hope you're having a great week. And just something like that, like, seems so simple, but at the same time, like, some people love that because it shows that social media is not just like people posting stupid stuff or people complaining, but it's actually shown that you have taken the time to notice that this person is reading your stuff and you're appreciative of it. And a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, you are so sweet. Like, I love following along on your journey. And a lot of times it's like people who I would usually not really talk to. And so, and if y'all know me, having these kinds of like starting these kinds of conversations with people is uncomfortable for me because I don't really like making new friends that well. Like, I'm so introverted, but it's taking me getting uncomfortable, and I'm getting so much better at it. And I'm enjoying talking to people that I don't know more, because that's always been something I've struggled with is I love people and I want to get to know you, but it's just like that breaking that ice of getting to know you is huge for me, because it's like, if I don't know you, then I don't feel like I really have anything to talk to you about. And that's why I'm like so quiet and don't really say a lot to people. And that can it comes off the wrong way all the time. But I've just kind of learned to look over that. But I am actually enjoying talking to people. Do you want to say something?
I wanted to ask a question.
Yeah.
So is that just people that's commenting or people that are watching your stories? I mean, or both?
Both. And people who, even if they're just liking.
Okay.
You know how people are like flies on the wall. Like,
yeah.
And we say all the time, like, even if they're not commenting or even if they're not liking, they're still watching. So even if it's people who are just liking and not even like commenting or anything, and it can be even somebody who has liked 1 or maybe 2 posts, but I will reach out to them and let them know that I noticed it. And some people, like, that might make them, I don't know, might make them a little uncomfortable, but at the same time, like, I'm just trying to be positive and show them that I noticed that they read my post. Because how often you just scroll on social media and don't really stop and read things. So I'm just trying to be more proactive about talking to those people and not letting them, like, slip through the weeds. Because even if they don't respond to me, when you send a message to somebody, like, okay, with the algorithm, like, they liked your post and then you sent a message. So that tells the Facebook algorithm that you want to see each other more. It means, like, you like each other. And so then in my head, how this is working, and who knows if this is actually happening, but in my head, after they engage on my post and then I message them, that opens up that line on Facebook for them to start seeing my stuff more often. So even if they're not responding to my happy birthday or my appreciate you liking my post, it's still, like, increasing the chances of them actually seeing my posts in the future. So I can't believe I've rambled for almost an hour because I really hadn't planned that out in advance that much. I was like, I'm just going to talk about what I'm doing. And so, okay, I'm going to hush. Anybody have any questions?
I do.
Okay.
The free trial thing. You said you was going to send that over because I think that may help me a little bit on some people.
Yeah, I had a girl actually this week, Shelby, the new coach that I just posted about. I have been talking to her for months. Oh my gosh, for months. And she was interested every single time. And we would start getting into the details, and she would ghost me every time. And I kept reaching back out every month, kept reaching back out. She was still interested, but she kept ghosting me. And so last week I was like, why don't you let me send you a free trial? And you can try this and see if this is something that you really want to do. And she was like, yeah, that'd be great. She got the trial, did one workout, and she was like, okay, I want to do this, and signed up. And, like, she didn't even wait the full 14 days. Like, she did it for one day, and then she was ready to sign up. So that is, like, a perfect example. It's just, like, giving somebody that taste of what is this really? Because I think sometimes, even though we explain it and we're like, it's just like Netflix, you get on there and you play it, like, people still can't, like, comprehend it in their brain exactly how it works. And I've been contemplating putting together a group for these people. I was going to talk to you guys and see if anybody wanted to do it with me, because I know I'm such a stickler about not wanting to have so many groups. But I think it would be really awesome for us to just have a super simple group that we can all use just to put people in who are doing the free trial. Just to give them, like, not a full-fledged challenge group, exactly what it is, but just giving them a place to put them to where, first, we know that we sent them the trial and we're not going to forget about them because they're in that group. And two, like, a place where they can, like, check in and we can post some things that are encouraging to them and kind of give them, like, okay, if you have the free trial, we're going to do clean week. And that just be, like, the consistent thing that we go through. And there's a challenge group guide for clean week that we can use and just post it in there as units, as, like, day 1 through 7. And it will just be there for them as an outline. So if anybody wants to do that, I've been thinking about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would like to try it. I have some that I would like to give a trial run at it because yeah.
Would you want to kind of take the reins on that and put it together?
Sure. I mean, yeah, I'll try. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And you don't have to do it, like, just add all of us
Like,
when you make
could
it.
I just, like, figure out who I would want for my list that I maybe would want, and then just create my own little group, and then it can go however y'all want it to go. I mean,
yeah. So just, do you know how? So I just kind of mean, like, getting the group formed for us, and then we'll all just go in there and, like, post some things.
Right. Yeah.
but then you can, like, you don't even have to have your people ready yet. Like, we can just focus on this, like, this week or something, just getting that group set up, and then start adding people to it once we get it ready. And then, because I think that puts a little bit of pressure on it to feel like, okay, I've already got people I want to put in there. Like, I got to get everything done today. Like, I don't want you to feel like pressured or overwhelmed or anything like that. So, do you know how to get to the challenge group guides?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I know.
It's through. Can you get to those on the coach office, Emily, or do you have to go through the app website?
The app website.
Okay, so you have to go through the tracker app, but there's a website for it. I'll find it and send it to you. But literally, there's just like a button on there that says challenge group guides, and it has a guide for every single program. And if we do the clean week one, then we would just have to go in there and do those 7 posts, and we can do them. I can like show you how to do it as units, and just, it's super easy. You just like create the unit and you would put that post in there, and it'll give you the picture to use, the text to use, and then if you want to add to it or change it, you can. But it's super easy. But I thought that might be like an opportunity for you to kind of test out your leadership role.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. I mean, I just will probably need help because you know how technically not the sharpest knife in the drawer. So
oh yes, you are. You're learning. That's all that matters. Okay, Emily, I know you had a question. You raised your hand.
I raised my hand. I sound like a man because my throat hurts. But okay, so I was going to ask you this later, but then I was like, I'm just going to ask you so in case, everybody could learn maybe. So you know how I sent you that screenshot earlier in the week of that girl that she's just like, I've been looking. Is it better to get a coach or whatever? She wanted to do Beachbody on Demand.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I went back and I was like, from my experience, I really feel like, having a coach, accountability, was like key, a key part of my success, being able to stay with it. And I was like, I said, I know you feel like you're unsure that you're able to stick with it, because she said she just wanted BOD because she just wasn't sure she would stick with it. And so I said, I know exactly what you mean. Like, I mean, that was how I felt too whenever I started. And I was like, but I really think if I wouldn't have had Shakeology when I first started, I don't know if I would still be doing this. And I said, so I just wanted to let you know, like, if you're going to pay $100 for BOD, you could, for only $60 more, you could give this a try. Basically that's what I said. I said, but either way, I totally respect your decision, and I'm happy to help you with any, what you decide to do.
Yeah. I think that's perfect. How you offered, like, that's one thing I learned through, like, the art of recruiting is, like, giving people a way out and saying, like, if that's not what you want to do, that's totally fine too. Or, like, if you're not interested, that's fine. Because a lot of times if you give people a way out, they won't take it. But if you don't give them a way out, then they're like, okay, I'm out. Like, I don't want to do it.
I agree with that. Do what? No, she hasn't responded. So that's what I was going to ask. Like, I don't really know what to say because
how many days has it been?
I responded on Tuesday.
Okay, I would definitely reach out today for sure.
Yeah.
And I would probably say something like, let me think. It's so much easier for me to type something out than to say it out loud. I'd probably say something like, hey girl, I just wanted to check in with you after our conversations earlier this week. I know that getting started on this journey was something that you really wanted, and I wanted to make sure that
if you want to think about it and text me after this.
I'm trying to think of how I would say, like, basically I want to make sure that me offering you that didn't, like, scare you.
Yeah, that's like, I've been trying to think of a way, like, every day when I do a power hour, I'm like, I know I need to follow up with her, like, I have who I need to follow up with, but I'm just like, I don't know. I want to be like, hey, I'm sorry if I offended you. I was just really trying to help you.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I think we overthink what we're trying to say so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have really tried to this week, especially when I'm following up with people, like, just be more, like, nonchalant about it. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but just being like, hey, like, I just wanted to follow up and make sure that that we can talk about any options that you want, that if the investment is too much or something that is holding you back, that I just want you to know that there are other things that we can talk about. Because that's kind of like with the follow-up that I sent last Saturday. I think I sent it to you.
Yes.
But what I had said was, let me see. So I don't think I shared this with everybody. But last Saturday, what I had sent was, hey, girl, today is the last, and these are the people who had shown interest in Transform 20 or were in the information group. Today's the last day to get in on this first round of the 20-minute-a-day, 6-week program since we officially kick off on Monday. I just wanted to check back with you one last time in case you were still on the fence about it. If it seemed too intense or too much of a financial strain right now, there are different workouts and options that we can talk about too. So just let me know where you're at and we can figure something out. I don't want the investment or anything like that to keep you from making this your healthiest, best year yet. No worries either way. Just let me know. We'd love to welcome you into our community. And basically, I did that just because I had been seeing so many people tell me that they just couldn't afford it right now. And so I wanted people to know that this wasn't the only option, that we could talk about something else, talk about something cheaper. And a lot of people also thought that it was a little too intense for them to start out with. And so basically just opening up that door that, like, we can talk about so many different options. So with that girl, I might just say, like, I just wanted to make sure that you knew that we could, like, you can start however you want, however you feel ready. I don't want you to do anything that you're not comfortable with. Something along those lines. But we can work on that later. Anybody have any other questions? We're about out of time. We got 4 minutes. Rebecca did awesome stuff this week. So proud of her. Getting out of her comfort zone. Your video had me crying. Oh my gosh. I was so proud of you for sharing that, because when you texted me, I was so busy at work and I was like, oh, I can't go watch it right now, but I watched it as soon as I got home. And it was just, so many things are happening right now with our group and the energy that's there and our team, with us all, like, working together and focusing on all these goals that we have. Like, I don't know about you guys, but it just feels so good. Like, it feels like we're all in the right place and we're doing the right things. And I feel like a lot of things are going to start changing for the better. And I feel like a lot of growth is happening on our team right now. And it makes me so happy. All right, I'm going to stop recording.